Thank you, my viewers. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm here, right here. Once again, my name is Ola Ibiwoye Ola, and I'm here at the CPC podcast show, Commercial Property Club podcast. And what we practically do is, we serve investors with commercial real estate knowledge. You must agree with me that with knowledge, you can invest wisely. With knowledge, you can go places you've never been before when it comes to income producing property. And today is another day in which we're going to be adding value to you, value in the commercial real estate spaces, asset classes like apartments, senior living, retail, and so many other income producing properties out there. But today specifically, I'm going to be diving deep in the aspect of apartment syndication today. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful show that I have today. And what can I do today other than to bring the best in the industry? And I'm talking about a giant. When I say giant, you will see what I'm talking about. And other than that, I would like to say one or two things about him before I introduce him formally. He's a wonderful man, a man I met a few years ago, and he's done great things in the apartment syndication space. He came to America with just $7. And today, he's grown that $7 to about $650 million asset under management. $7 to $650 million. That's a bold jump. But today, we'll be hearing from him, actually. His name is Vinney Chopra. I'm going to talk about him a little bit. He's a syndicator. He's an investor, both in apartments and in senior living. And he's also a writer also, too. And without too much talking about, he has so many things I want to talk about him today. But as we dive into every topic he's going to talk about today, we'll be seeing him unfolding himself to you guys. When I say he's a giant, indeed he is a giant. $6,500. When I say dollars, I mean units of apartments right now, and that's cumulatively $650 million. Indeed, he has something to share, which I call value. Without no further, expansion of who Vinney is, I'm going to introduce to you today Vinney Chopra. Vinney Chopra, you can speak right now and talk to my audience, right?
Thank you, Ola. Thank you. It's such a privilege to be on your show.
Yes,
I'm so excited. I hope I can bring some great value, some enthusiasm, some smiles, and some golden nuggets to your audience. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. Today, we're going to be talking about value-add informations.
Yes.
We want to know about how he started, how he was able to get to where he is today, and some of the questions I'll be asking today, several years back, you remember when I came in as a student also too in your academy, the Multifamily Syndication Academy. I remember so well we had this conversation over the phone, and my life has never been the same again, because today you mentored me, and also too you grafted me into your mastermind, and not only that, you also brought me into the confines and the folds of your partners in some of the syndications that you did. Today, I'll be asking some questions that can add value to my audience out there on the real estate syndication. So how did you start it? How did you start in real estate syndication business?
Sure. Ola, actually, I came from India, as you mentioned. I'm a mechanical engineer. I worked with a very big company back in Bombay. I grew up in New Delhi, India, the capital. I came to George Washington University to do my master's in business administration in marketing. I really thought, engineering and marketing, I can make a good living in this land of opportunity. But little did I know, when I was selling books to earn tuition for my college, university fees, I realized I'm really good in talking to people. and relationship building and selling. And I love the rejection, and I love to really pound on the pavement and all that. Anyway, I closed my engineering books many years back, and I got into fundraising, presentations, business speaking, all that. And I stayed that, in Ohio, by the way, some of you might know, Ohio, Findlay, Ohio, then Bowling Green, Ohio. Then I moved to West Coast.
Okay.
Now, there is a correlation there. We were young. My wife and I are celebrating this weekend 42nd years of lovely marriage.
42nd year. Wow. Wow. Congratulations for that.
Happily married. We have two children, Neil and Monica. Okay. That's why our company's name is Moneil, which is Monica and Neil combined. Okay. So that's the legacy we are hopefully building for our children. And Monica is fully involved in the business. I just spent last week in Florida on business and pleasure. And Sarasota gave some really good presentations and all. But let's talk about real estate. How I got in was when we moved to the West Coast, we lived near San Francisco in Danville, Blackhawk Country Club. And my friends were in real estate. What? So your peers actually do wonders for you when they start talking about real estate, because that's what it's all about. So that's when we started buying single family homes. Okay. We bought our first home, our own home, for $99,000. What? Okay. And it's maybe $1.5 million right now, 15 times, at least that appreciation. But the key thing is real estate is something everybody should really dig into. That's how I got started in single family homes. Then in 2005, I wanted to take a jump. I said, the single family homes is not going to pay for my kids' tuition. It's not going to pay for big cash flows. It's not going to build our nest egg. Okay. That's when I joined into multifamily.
Multifamily. Wow. Wow.
It's 17 years back. I made a decision. So overnight success, people say it's overnight. I say, well, it's overnight. Took 15 years.
It took 15 years. And you said it right there. There is really no great success that is overnight. And you quite explained everything right there. And a lot of times, people just see you and they think you just jumped out of the blues, just like that, as if it's an overnight thing. And I've always known that, success, you have to build success.
Yes.
Over time, it's an overtime thing. It's a journey. I always say this, that success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon. In other words, marathon is longer than a sprint. When you do 100 meters, you sprint, you're done. But building great legacy, like you talked about right now, it's stack over stack, and until you attain that greatness. Awesome. So multifamily syndication. Tell us, how is somebody out there that is hearing you right now? What is the number one thing he's supposed to do to start?
Very good point. I definitely want to tell everybody, I know you said some numbers, 6,500 doors. It started from single family, one single family home, to duplex. We still own the duplex. My wife and I, we still own the duplex still in Odessa, Texas. Yeah. And then it took me 9 months or 11 months, actually, to get my 14 units. So please remember, you got to go through these sequences and really be determined that you will do your level best to look at a lot of deals to buy your 4-plex or 8-plex or 10-plex. Yes. In my case, it was 14 units for $180,000.
Oh, wow.
Took me 11 months to get it.
11 months.
11 months. So you got to be persistent. You got to be undying desire that it's going to happen. You got to be positive. That's why I wrote that book, Positivity Brings Profitability. Because the thing is, in life, we go ups and downs, always. It's the attitude. It's the zeal, the excitement, the momentum. because you learn things, you talk to brokers, you look at deals, you figure out if they're going to make sense or not. You're going to get the loan, you're going to get the down payment. But it's much easier to get 14 units or 12 units than a single family home.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it, because you have 12 renters or residents, we call it, giving you money, rent.
Yes.
And then there are expenses, but at the end of the day, you have money left over, which is the net income. And that's what the banks look for. They look at the net profit or NOI, net operating income, to give us the loan. So it's much easier to buy an 8-unit property than a 1-unit, single family home. So what's syndication? You asked me that. Syndication, many people think is a big gorilla.
Okay.
I always see that it's a 600-pound gorilla. It's not. And that's why I wrote the book, Syndication Made Easy.
Yeah, which is,
Oh, yeah, thank you. There it is. It's like you are getting investors, your family, your friends, your circle of all the great people that who are like-minded, and they want to entrust you, give you as a partner. See, the investors are partners of yours. And then you find a deal, maybe 8 units, maybe 10, 12 units, or 20 units, or 100 units, right? But you find a great deal, you underwrite it. Underwrite meaning you look at the numbers, you look at the projections, how you're going to value add. That's your show. Value add, increase the rents, decrease the expenses, and we can dig more deeper into it.
Absolutely.
I've done it so many times, times, I've done 39 syndications so far.
Just 39, wow.
Like almost, I think the last, year and a half, I've done 12 of them, 10 or 12, just in the last year and a half during COVID. Can you believe it? So essentially, it's getting the pooling of the money together to buy real estate. That's syndication. So it's a very simple thing if you look at it that way. Why do we people syndicate? That's a good question. If you have all the money you need for down payment, for closing cost, and you can qualify for the loan, you need to syndicate.
True.
You put your own money, down payment, you get the loan, and all the profits are yours.
True.
But to scale it up, we'll run out of the money, right?
True.
Especially we don't want to use all our savings and put it into the, purchase of one property or 2 or 3. We want to have cash flow and diversify our portfolio, I call it, right?
Yes.
Some in stock, some in crypto, some in precious metals, and all that stuff, plus real estate. Real estate is the biggest thing, category, which gives you tax breaks. What do I mean by that? Stock market, when you want to buy Google, you have to pay $332, $3,300 some dollars to buy one share of stock. The bank will not loan you money. They can give you margin. They call it margin, but you have to pay interest, but you can be called anytime to pay back the margin, right? But they don't give you a loan for 10 years loan and say, oh, we love this property. And they will partner with you. You found this property and 70% will pay you. 30% you bring down payment. But guess what? If you make 200% increase in the equity, we will not take any money off the equity. We'll give you all of that to you. Wow, what a deal. What a deal.
Yes. Awesome. I mean, another question I would like you to probably broaden more for my audience is the aspect of capital raising.
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on the capital raising side of things? Because sometimes, you have the deal, but the capital is not coming. What is 3 things that investors today that maybe never used to work in the past, but today is relevant when it comes to raising capital?
Totally. Craig, you have a legal structure because there is SEC ruling, we call it, Securities and Exchange Commission rules and regulations, where you have to register your security. If you're selling or raising money for any purpose, it's a security. So you have to really do an exemption, we call it Rule D, Regulation D, where you get an exemption for family and friends. I'm not an attorney or a CPA. I want to say that. But the key thing is 506B is the most of the time people take an exemption. If you could write it down, many of you might already know. But the key thing is you have to educate the investors before you get the deal. All right. Because when you get the deal, then the clock freezes. And you can talk to all the people you already have built relationships with before you got the deal to ask them to invest into the deal. In 506B. In C, it's accredited investors. And that is making 200,000 or 300 as a family or $1 million net worth, not including your personal residence and all that. But the thing is, in that one, you can advertise and then you could deal with anybody before or after. You don't need a family and friend pre-existing relationship. It's called substantial pre-existing relationship, which I explained in the book that you just mentioned there, because it's very important that in the first exemption, which is 90% of the fundraising is done in that way, capital raising is done that way, you got to cultivate your investors. And that's why I say in the book also, there are circles of influences, right? We start from the closest to us, our family. Next to them are uncle and aunts, distant cousins and neighbors. That's all family, right? Right there. Then we get into our circle of influence with our jobs. Then we get a little bit further with our family friends. All right. And then you expand outside with clubs and wealth organizations and all that. There are 6 different circles that you could cultivate. I call it cultivate seed. You got to throw the seeds and educate people so that they can believe in your mission. And then they will jump into their savings or money, and then you go to buy.
Awesome. I'm glad you elaborate on the capital raising aspect of things. Now, when you look at the capital raising aspect of things, you have the capital stacked up. You have your investors stacked up, either the sophisticated or the accredited investors stacked up. What about the deal flow of things, the aspect of deal flow? How in today's current situation of things, how would you say you can stack up the deal flow aspect of things also too? Because if you have the capitals, you don't have the good deals to go with it. What is working right now?
No, I'm so glad, Ola. This is $1 million question, what you just asked. See, it's just not raising money. You got to deploy those funds. Otherwise, if you don't have a good deal, come on this side, you have to join the investors with a deal, right?
Absolutely.
But if there is no deal and you are warming the investors and everybody, they say, Ola, bring the deal, right? So you got to start building relationships. That's my third plate, I call it in my book. First one is the teams, forming your teams. Second is the investor relationships and cultivating investors. Third plate, spinning of the third plate, I call it, the broker relationships. So before you get into the third plate, you got to ascertain which neighborhoods you're going to purchase the multifamily or storage units or mobile home parks or anything, right? So that's where is the beauty of it to do studies and figure out where jobs are moving to, where new Starbucks are opening, where new Best Buys are opening up, in what area of the town, in the outside tertiary markets. Because what we are finding with COVID right now, people have expanded. The engineers don't have to come to work in a physical building.
I know.
Work remotely.
Yeah.
So essentially, we want to build the relationships with the brokers so that, and also call mom and pops through different softwares and everything, call out centers and all, or sending letters or cards or texts, so that you could find a off-market deal, which is, by the way, hard. Let me just say that right now. The market is oversaturated right now. There is less product, more demand. People want to buy.
That much, yes.
Amazing. And to your listeners, I'm so pumped up, if you will agree, if I can share something very, very tremendous.
Absolutely.
Go on. Life. Yeah. This is my biggest home run ever in the last 15 years. I purchased a property, multifamily, in Austin, Texas, near to the Domain. I purchased it in September 2020 in the COVID.
Yeah.
Because I knew engineers are moving to Austin, right? I'm an engineer too. So I said, that's a good money, because I was collecting 98% of the rents in my Melbourne property, Princeton Park. I think you're invested in it.
No, it's the Bentley, the one in
Bentley is selling. Yeah. Bentley is selling right now. We paid.
But I know when the OM of Princeton came out. I know about the Princeton.
Yes. Now Princeton Park, we're still keeping it, but then Austin, our property there, 308 units, I'm selling it. Wow. I paid 35 million, give or take, selling it for 62,700,000.
Whoa.
Less than 2 years.
That's an home run.
That's the biggest home run ever. I never predicted it. I'm not that strong. I'm not that intelligent, skilled man at all. But it just happened to be that the listing agent knew me from 9 years back. And I went there and I said, hi, Michael. He says, Mr. Chopra, Vinney, I know you from 9 years back. You were the easiest person to work with. I said, what? I said, well, Vinney's back with more money now. Because that deal I bought was 4,900,000 or something, 132 units 9 years back. But then I got this in 2020. He told the seller, Vinney's got perfect record, 100% closing on every LOI. And which is true, by the way. I've done 38 deals now. Every single one I put on LOI, last 15 years, I've closed on it, So perfect record, that way. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for talking about the deal flow aspect of things. And, earlier on, I mentioned that it's easy for people to think Vinney just jumped out of the deck into limelight as if nothing happened. Indeed, Vinney can tell you a lot of successful stories. And also I'm aware of some aspect also to that had a bit of challenges. You remember the last time we were in Lake Jackson?
So many times I could write books after books.
Yes. I want you to take us through an aspect that you remembered so well that it wasn't easy. A few years back we went to Lake Jackson together. I'll be on those property down in the south part of Texas.
Yes,
and
I would love to.
Can you share the story with my audience?
Yes, I would love to. Please,
So go right ahead and talk about the aspect that sometimes some deals could be challenging.
I would love to your audience. I would love to. Let me go back with lots of ups and downs. As a matter of fact, my second property I bought was 109 units in Odessa itself also. And we did not get any bank to give me loan. What? They said, you're brand new. You're going to live in California. Your property's over there. How can you manage it? All those things were thrown at me, right? And then no bank will give me loan. I had no track record.
Yeah.
So I was, sitting down, I said, creatively, let's do seller financing. So then we dug deeper into seller financing. They didn't want to give me, LTV of 80-20, which I wanted to have, less money down. And then the rest is the promissory note. They said, no. I said, how about 70%, how about 75% LTV? No, 60%. What? I had to put 1 million down for 2.4 million property over there in Odessa, Texas. So it is that. Then we go to another, lots of ups and downs in renovations and problems with the hurricane. I remember, you name it. I've faced every situation under the sun. Then we go to San Antonio, Alamo Heights. We buy this property, 72 units.
Okay.
And we don't do good due diligence.
Oh, wow.
And after 4 months, there is a smell, a very dirty, a pungent smell coming from the buildings. And that is the sewer smell. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So we said, what's going on over here? We brought the plumbers and all that. They said, sir, your wrought iron pipes have fallen. So there's a crack under the building. The wrought iron pipes, they get worn out at the bottom and they crack. And then the sewer gets into dirt and mushy.
Wow.
And it starts. So I had to stop right there. No cash flow to my investors. And then we got into, problems with the insurance and this and that. Took us 1.5 years.
Okay. Wow.
To fix that problem. We had to evacuate our property, a residence, to our 2 other properties we own nearby. I always like to buy them in bulk. One, the next one, the next one, the next one in the same neighborhoods, because then I can travel one time, meet with all my staff and everything, because we are vertically integrated.
Yes.
So a lot of ups and downs, I bought a building in Freeport near Lake Jackson, which was burnt. One whole building was burned.
That was the property we went there together.
Yes,
the one I was telling you about. Awesome. You see, like I said, success is not overnight, and you just explained some of the great areas also to that in the journey of success. You actually would come through challenging times. But when the glory comes, people would only see the glory and forget that sometimes there are scars that you've acquired in your battles, which is what you just explained right now. I'm glad you're sharing that with us, even for our listeners, for them to understand that indeed, if they want to get into this business, they understand that sometimes they need to go through challenge, but tenacity is what they need to plow through to where they need to get to where they're going. So another question I also want to ask you today is, I know about your syndicating knowledge, what you've done in syndication, and a lot of all those things, and your in-depth of knowledge in apartments, multifamily asset class of things. And I know 3 years ago, you also not transitioned, but you actually engaged another class asset, which is senior living. And I remember very well, when you roll that aspect. Can you take us through that?
I would love to. I've been promoting actually my whole presentation. I would love to send you that, the brand new
absolutely. Yes, sure.
Which I gave last week also. It's 3 tsunamis are flowing through USA and around the world. The first tsunami is the millennials tsunami, 74 million people who like portability. They are getting into renters nation, we call it. Second tsunami is silver tsunami. That's the people, 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 every night. It started in 2011 and it's going to keep on going for 20 years. So 2031, 2031 will be the last baby boomer turning into, the seniors. I'm a senior. I'll be 70 this year, 70. I'm happy, in August. But the key thing is for my fellow citizens, I wanted to dig into senior living because that's a huge market. Trillions and trillions of dollars are going to be in the product, in real estate, in housing, in medical, in bills, and all that. So I found a partner, luckily, by sending signals out in the cosmos. I believe in law of attraction, believe in law of abundance and manifestation. Here comes a great friend who has been doing senior living ground up luxury for the last 9 years.
Wow.
I said, what? I mean, we have been together 3.5 years now. So it's like 7 or 8 years at that time. And that's what I'm passionate about. $2 billion is my bold goal to do in senior housing. And last week I was there in Punta Gorda. Hampton Manor of Punta Gorda. Please, anybody who wants to look at us, Hampton Manor is our brand. hamptonmanor.co, not com. But CO is our website where we are put what we build 1 story without any elevators, and we buy 5 to 7 acres of land to build this resort. It's a multifamily 1 story and with courtyards, 3 to 6 courtyards with dining.
Amazing, beautiful, Absolutely.
Cook to order, our chefs cook to order 3 meals and snacks. Then we have daily average living, with the caregiving. We got the, like spa and movie theater, library, grand piano, billiard room, game rooms, sunrooms, you name it. And of course, we have in Florida, our swing pools and putting greens, and then waterfall functions and transportation, everything. It's like a resort. And our residents love us. It's the motto we have is to spoil the seniors.
Awesome. Well, it's the senior living aspect of it. You talked about the demographic shift.
Yes.
That's what you were practically talking about when it comes to the baby boomers, the millennials, and what kind of products are out there, or rather would be more on the appreciating side going forward when you focus a number of years from now. And that's what it is all about when it comes to asset classes like that. Understanding your demography, understanding what are the emerging markets, understanding what it's going to be like for products like apartments, senior living in years to come. That way you know where to invest, where not to invest. I hope that was very profitable what Vinney has shared with us today concerning senior living and also apartment building.
And we are in multifamily senior living. I wanted to say that residential is also big spectrum out there, 8 beds or 16 beds or units, but we are into 88 to 96 units. We are not into 300, 400 with, elevators and all that. We don't believe in it. So we are in that less than 100 spectrum. With 120 beds or 140 beds. The third tsunami I wanted to mention, if the audience might say, Vinney, you didn't tell us the third tsunami.
What's the third tsunami?
Immigration tsunami. See, our birth rate is so low in USA. We are where we are because of immigrants like you and I and others.
Absolutely.
And the key thing is we'll be 425 million population. We are 365 right now. In the next 20, 30 years, we'll be 425 with deaths and increasing and all. Immigration is going to be humongous into this country. And that's what is going to increase our population. But guess what? When we have immigrants coming in, they don't have stable jobs yet. They don't have savings. So that's the renter's nation again. So there'll be more rental units needed for 3 tsunamis, I call it. Millennials, silver tsunami, and the immigration tsunami.
Wow. Awesome. Did you hear that?
If anybody's interested in the PowerPoint, I would love to send you
Absolutely.
Oh, that'll be amazing.
Yeah. Everything, everything you've shared right now makes a lot of sense. The 3 tsunamis, the demographic shift of millennials, the demographic shift of the baby boomers, which is the silver spoon of what you're talking about right now, and also the demographics of immigrants are coming into the United States. And those are the titles and factors that point towards what the asset class is shared with us today would really speak going forward: apartments, senior living. And those are nuggets of really profound information you've given my audience today. One other thing I also want to talk about today is, before we round up, is Texas. I know, Texas is darling to you. Another market I know is darling to you is Georgia and Florida. Texas, as it is right now, is the place to be. I mean, when you count about 5 markets to be here in America, Texas is it's got to be up there.
Huge.
So what can you say about Texas right now?
I would say I made my living in Texas. I've been in Texas for 15 years.
Yeah.
I just sold my last asset, Albion, sold it in December. And I'm buying. I bought like the one in Austin. I'm looking to buy and build. So senior assisted living is my newest frontier in Fort Worth and Dallas area. I want to build 3 to 4 right around there. There is amazing need for it around Austin, around San Antonio, and Houston. So that's where I'm coming next year, big time.
Awesome. So Texas is still the. Now I'm being sentimental right now because I'm from Texas and I office from the Texas area also too. But Texas is where the market is right now also too. Of course, there are other wonderful markets out there like Georgia, like Florida.
Georgia is blossoming like crazy.
Yes.
Of course, look at Ohio. Look at Tennessee. Look at North Carolina, South Carolina.
Absolutely.
Crazy. St. Louis. Look at Kansas City. Look at Alabama's. I mean, Salt Lake City. Look at, all these places are amazing places to be at.
Absolutely.
North of Kentucky. I forgot about that. And then Cincinnati growing into Kentucky, all that area. And then Pennsylvania. Some people are doing great job in Indianapolis.
Awesome.
It's just amazing what's happening in this market. Yeah.
Awesome. One last thing before we round up. When it comes to team, you're only as good as your team. When it comes to building an organization, when it comes to building systems, and when it comes to building something of profound quality that will serve people out there. Take us through, maybe in 2 minutes. What does it take to have that wonderful
When I
team?
started in acquisition team, I had partners, but then we closed that because partnerships sometimes work, sometimes it doesn't. But 2014 November was my new company formed, Moneil Investment Group and Moneil Management Group. And we have taken off crazy. I think 500 million probably has come, maybe more than that, in the last 7 years, literally. That's what it is. The key thing is when you have family involved, our daughter is involved, my wife is involved, our VP of finance has been with me for 15 years. And my attorney has been with me for 15 years. My syndication attorney, Kim Lisa Taylor, for 15 years. That's what the team is about. And once you put great people in the team, my accounting department was 5 full-time people in there. But my VP of accounting was the number 1 person in charge. I let her do everything. So I hired the best of the best and let them do the work. And then asset managers, regional managers, community managers, lead maintenance. We were 153 people, I think, full-time on my payroll as the CEO of 5 companies, And I still have 5, but we have cut down because we've sold so much of the portfolio. Because now I'm digging into hotels, into storages, into assisted living, into all these things, and crypto and also startup constructions and ATMs and something new I just did, website real estate. Website real estate. I just invested into that. I like to diversify my mind.
I know diversification. That's Vinney for you. diversification in all aspects of things. But don't let us forget the foundation was that Vinney was focused on apartment, then is scaled up. Now is diversifying in so many aspects of assets out there, and just like you rightly said right now. And to round up my show today, I like I said, we add value to people out there, for investors, for people that are trying to get into the business. We bring value to the table that can help them either enter or scale up their business. And
can I offer them a free book?
Yes, totally absolutely. I was gonna ask you to take over on that aspect of things. That this is Vinney on my show today. I'm gonna allow Vinney to speak to you guys and tell you how you guys can reach him. How can people reach you? What are the things that you're doing newly right now? What are the products that you have newly right now? I know, you wrote this book, which I have on my table right here.
Thank you.
I have another book right here, which is the Positive Brings Profitability.
And I
newly revised actually. It has been newly revised actually.
Yes.
And also
my third book is also coming. Third book will be
the third book is coming. There you go. There you go.
Which is my new frontier.
And the apartment syndication made easy also too. It's a wonderful book for those that are trying to have more. But I'll let him take us there.
Thank you so much. Ola, people can reach me anywhere. You can DM me right there on Instant Messenger. You could do it. Twitter is there. And I'm also in LinkedIn, YouTube channel, just Vinney Chopra, Facebook groups. But my website is vinneychopra.com. V as in Victor, or victory, right? As victory, VINNEY, Chopra.com. And if you'd like a free digital copy of my book, you could just go to vinneychopra.com/free book. If you would like to learn from me, just like Ola, great mentor, mentee, I love him. And, if you'd like to learn the business in a group environment, master coaching, I call it, then you could just say, I think it's Vinney Chopra mentorship, I think is the word. And then if you want to invest with me, you could go to Vinney Chopra/invest, I think. So you can reach me that way, my team. And thank you so much for your time. Ola, thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure, Vinney. It's just a pleasure being with you today. It's refreshing, just like always. I've spent quite a number of time with you at events, even at meetings, and it's a privilege and honor to have you on my show today. And it's a wonderful time we've had today. I hope my audience out there have been able to pick one or two things they can run with. It's been loads of information that Vinney has given us today. Information that you can only make good use of if you put it into use. So I'm going to say, please, if you want to get into this business, run with the information. And Vinney is also very, very, I can tell you from experience also to that. He's a wonderful person to meet. He's a wonderful person to reach out to. He will always be there to answer your question. Just like he rightly told you, all the information is the ways to get across to reach him. Please, if you want to DM him, you're absolutely free to do that. It's been wonderful talking to you today, Vinney, and please come back. My show is always open, and you know that.
Godspeed, and
come back.
And you are just doing so great, expanding and giving knowledge to people. And we need to really get those positive cash flows, streams of income.
Absolutely.
Because we should rely on one stream at all and build the legacy, build the wealth, build the savings, and let your money grow.
Yes. Thank you so much, Vinney, for joining us today. Viewers out there, people that are listening to my podcast, thank you once again for joining Commercial Property Club podcast. This is where we give investors sound knowledge about income producing property. Just like I said, we add value. That's what we bring to the table. Today was another value add from the great Vinney Smile Chopra.
Thank
You've heard him. He's the real deal. I will see you next time when we stream live or when we bring forth another episode of Commercial Property Club podcast. Thank you.